Good morning. We start your 6 o'clock hour with breaking news. I'm Corey Johnson.
And I'm China Green. Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested at the center of a federal gambling investigation.
NBC News is reporting Billups was arrested last night in connection with a sweeping federal probe into illegal gambling operations. Now, Billups is a former NBA Finals MVP and Hall of Famer. The investigation also led to the arrest of Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, along with what officials describe as members and associates of organized crime groups. Now, federal officials say dozens of people are expected to face criminal charges, with the FBI planning to announce those details later this morning. Now, it's still not clear yet where Billups was taken into custody, but the Blazers did play at home in Portland last night, and neither the Trailblazers organization nor the NBA has commented. Our Thomas Schultz will have a live report on this in about 10 minutes.
And Rod Hill has a day off, so Chris McGinnis is standing by for a look at your weather and traffic. Chris?
Yeah, good morning, ladies. Off to a quiet start. This is the calm day before we get days of rain and wind, right? So here we go. Let's set the table with a live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. It's 53 degrees out the door right now under a mostly cloudy sky. We'll see filtered sunshine early today, but generally cloudy but dry, I think will characterize our Thursday. 50 right now in Tigard, and Wilsonville will slide down to the south. Salem has slipped to 47. We've got a little bit more in the way of a clear sky down in the mid-valley right now, which is why the temperatures have dropped a few degrees for you folks. Albany and Corvallis also in the mid-40s. All right, the plan for today, increasing clouds, becoming mostly cloudy but mild, with high temperatures climbing into the mid-60s today. As we mentioned, a dry day before things get wet and windy. We have KGW weather impact alert days for Friday and Saturday. Sunday, for that matter, is going to be pretty wet as well. More on that coming up in just a few minutes. Your morning commute not off to a bad start right now. It is getting busier as we give you a live look at the Sylvan Hill, Highway 26. Traffic with the headlights there coming down the hill from Skyline Boulevard into the tunnel. A few more cars on that stretch of roadway as well up in North Portland. This is up near Lombard, the headlights in that shot. Representing southbound I-5. At this point, the drive out of Wilsonville looks pretty good as well, and the drive times are still rolling along at a speed limit clip. Ladies, we have no major freeway trouble out there just yet.
All right, thank you, Chris. Other breaking news we're following this morning. One woman is dead after a hit and run in North Portland. This happened around 1:30 this morning on North Marine Drive near North Forest Road. Police say when they arrived on scene, they found a woman dead. No arrests have been made yet. Portland police are asking anyone with information about this to contact them as soon as possible.
And we now know more about the shooting that happened near Centennial High School. Police are still looking for a suspect who shot a man near Southeast 174th and Hague Street yesterday afternoon. Now, authorities say the victim went to the hospital with serious injuries, but is expected to survive. We do not know exactly what led up to that shooting.
School is closed today for the Corbett School District because of a widespread boil water notice. The Corbett Water District says there was a leak in the main line that feeds the entire water district. Though they say it's been repaired, a boil water notice has been issued for the entire water district. They're hoping to have lab results on the water by today, but anyone in the Corbett Water District should bring water to a rolling boil for about 5 minutes before drinking, brushing your teeth, or washing fruits and veggies. Showering is still okay.
We have continuing coverage this morning on the legal fight over National Guard troops being deployed to Portland. Now, the state and the city are trying to convince a larger panel of judges from the Ninth Circuit to review the case after a split ruling earlier this week cleared the way for the troop deployment in the Rose City. Now, Oregon argues that decision sets a dangerous precedent that gives the president too much power. Meanwhile, the federal government says the president has every right to deploy the Guard when, in its view, local authorities are not curbing the violence. While that plays out, there's still a restraining order in place from a lower level court. Tomorrow, a judge here could get rid of that order, keep it in place, or even decide to wait for the appeals court's next move.
We're in the most perilous moment, the biggest threat to our republic since the Civil War.
That's Senator Jeff Merkley on the Senate floor during his nearly 23-hour marathon speech that in part zeroed in on President Donald Trump and the federal response to protests here in Portland.
Senator Merkley's speech ended up being the third longest in Senate history. During that speech, he argued that President Trump's actions mirror those of authoritarian governments around the world. Alma McCarty has more.
For 22 hours and 37 minutes,
the authoritarian actions are not down the street. They are not around the corner.
Senator Jeff Merkley used his position to, in his words, sound the alarm.
All the basic characteristics of authoritarian control are present at this moment in the United States of America.
And in particular, he argued on a specific block in South Portland in front of the ICE facility. Federal agents provoking protesters to create an appearance of chaos.
A riot trying to create the appearance of violence so they convince a judge to let them federalize Oregon's National Guard or move in the National Guard from elsewhere, to mislead the courts and to mislead the American people. It's governing by gaslighting.
One example highlighted by the senator as overreach by federal agents, the situation involving 19-year-old Leilani Payne. We spoke with her earlier this month.
I put my hands up and I said, I'm just standing here exactly where you asked me to. And then he maced me in the face for 3 seconds straight without warning.
If you saw it on video, you would go, oh my goodness. Unbelievable.
And Senator Ron Wyden recalling what happened to Quinn Hobble, another protester, just this past weekend.
Federal agents dragged a 4'6" blind man named Quinn across a driveway and detained him for over an hour.
They call Portland a war zone. The only people that's making it a war zone is ICE.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem standing by the actions of agents during a cabinet meeting following her trip to Portland.
If we have to do it the hard way in Portland and Chicago, we will.
And on Wednesday afternoon, another senator, a Republican, told reporters why he refused to tune in to the marathon speech.
I'm not listening. I don't know what he's saying. I think it's purely a performance.
That was Amma McCarty reporting. Other Republicans criticize Senator Merkley for forcing Senate staff and Capitol Police to work overnight while not getting paid due to the government shutdown. After his speech, Merkley told reporters that he went around and thanked everyone who had to be on the floor because he realized it was, quote, such an imposition. Well, it's been 3 weeks since the Oregon Legislature passed Governor Kotek's controversial transportation funding package, and she still hasn't signed it. The bill included tax hikes, which Republicans fiercely oppose. Now, some experts argue that there's a strategy in why she hasn't signed the bill. One possible reason is because Republicans want to refer parts of the bill to the November 2026 ballot. And then Republicans would have 90 days after the bill passes to collect the needed signatures. So the longer the governor waits to sign it, the less time they have.
I'll tell you what, she can delay this all she wants. We're still going to gather the signatures. We're still going to get this on the ballot, and Oregonians will remind Salem who really runs this state.
The governor has until November 12th to sign the bill, but regardless of when it's signed, ODOT won't get the money until January.
Aw, those little kitten noises, so cute. Well, that little guy caused quite a stir on I-5 in Washington. State troopers say they got 911 calls about a kitten stranded on the shoulder near Tacoma yesterday morning. Now, they found the kitten hiding under a concrete barrier and rushed him to the vet for a checkup. Look at that little face. Now, thankfully, he's perfectly fine. And one trooper has already stepped up to take care of him. I love when law enforcement adopt animals that they rescue. It's my favorite kind of story.
Well, I think there's no other choice. If
Yes.
you rescue something, you have to keep it.
It just looks up at you with those eyes and says, Daddy, take me home. And
I
you're
love
like,
it.
Of course, of course. All right, let's get you out the door with a live look from our Wells Fargo Sky camera showing. Obviously, it's dark, so it's hard to tell, but we've got the bottom of the clouds illuminated from the city lights. So cloud cover is building in. It's 53 last check at PDX. Scappoose waking up to 51. Same story in Beaverton. And the big perspective across the state. Chilly at Eastern Oregon this morning. Baker City at 34. Burns, the cold spot. Congratulations. 23 degrees to start your morning. East of the Cascades should be a really nice day today with sunshine and filtered sun. But west side will certainly see increasing clouds. At the beach today, Pacific City gets to about 62. Newport in the upper 50s. Slight chance of a sprinkle at the coast and coast range later this afternoon. Gorge starts with sun. Clouds increase, though, during the day for you folks with highs in the mid-60s. Increasing clouds for the east side as well. Madras and Bend getting into the low 70s. Sun River mid-60s. All right, we've got a sprinkle chance, and I think this is primarily like Cowlitz County late in the day. Maybe late in the day we get an isolated sprinkle, but otherwise today will be dry with increasing clouds. Filtered sun for the Willamette Valley, and the plan here in the Portland metro area again. Mostly cloudy, but dry today is the expectation, with high temperatures getting into the mid to upper 60s. So the calm before the storm, if you will, today for our Thursday. Let's talk about Friday real quick, because this is our next weather maker. It rolls in with wind and rain, and I think that wind and rain gets in here during the morning commute tomorrow, with the steadiest, heaviest rain coming in after 9 or 10 o'clock. So 2 KGW weather impact alert days for Friday and Saturday. Sunday itself also looks wet. We'll break down rainfall totals, possibility of wind, and also some cascade snow coming up in our next weather report in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris.